Welcome to Deep Thought. People always want to be a part of something. And it's very important, especially when I talked about this week, because I talked about subcultures and social groups looking similar. That's one thing we all want to be a part of. Even some people who think they're lone wolves, or some people might use the term Sigma, but I'm like, there's plenty of like YouTube channels that are supported by Sigmas. They're part of that group, whether they like it or not. They ain't totally lone wolf, and it don't have to be anything large. It could be a part of a family. I know a guy, he pretty much, I haven't talked to him, I ain't seen him in a while, but his only interactions is pretty much, he stayed to himself, but he does interact strongly with his family, within his family. But that's something right there. It's something with humans that we want to form communities. We feel comfortable in communities. I don't care what anybody say. And it don't have to be a large community. It could be a community of small people. It could be your family, small group of friends, a tiny subculture. People want to see their reflection of their values, what they like, what they do with other people. I remember years ago reading about a group of picky eaters, and they had a conference, and it was only a few people there. And they saved a lot of money on food. Because they were picky eaters, but they wanted to meet each other. In fact, you have websites and stuff that work on that. Even online, if you look at a lot of message boards and stuff, they're communities. They're communities. Like, we got thousands of communities. Shoot, just online, when people get on different platforms, those are really communities. They are part of something. Somebody might open it up, but anybody, it's a community right here watching me. It's a community of guys. People want to feel, men and women, there's some ladies on here, but people want to feel like they're part of something. Maybe in something, I'll tell you what, some people, they might be a part of several things, have several groups. And one of the reasons why we want to see who we are reflected in others. When that's why I said in a previous episode, there's a strong tendency for groups of people to look similar. Like, I know I'm big, particularly in the black community, on natural hair. I've noticed that, like, you get some natural hair groups because, my co-parent natural hair, and she be hooking up with people with natural hair, groups I would hang out with, well, I ain't gonna tell y'all everything, but let's just say the groups I hang out with, more on the small, not tiny, smaller side, but I'm comfortable with those groups, and that's the thing, because every single one of us, nobody wants to be alone. That's why when you get in prison and you get some people put in solitary confinement, it is really hurtful. It is really, people get put in solitary, it does something to them. Some can handle it as long as it's not long term. But for people to go for years, yeah, that'll drive you crazy. That'll drive you crazy. But we all want to be a part of something. And like I said, it could be different things. And it don't have to be like anything nefarious. You get some people, they might just want to play sports. People like being a part of those sports teams. You get a lot of people, they'll join those rec leagues, not so much just to play sports, but to be a part of something, be a part of a group. When I go to the gym, one thing I've noticed at different gyms that I've either worked at or worked out at, there's always somebody who will come in there, and they wouldn't work out that hard, but then they would socialize with everybody. But that was their community. In fact, one of the assistant managers at one of the gyms I worked at said that this is a community. This is a community. Got a loud truck outside. Anyway, this is a community of people. And a lot of times, like at one gym I worked at, that's how we were a small gym, but we had a good group of people because of that. We had a very good group of people because we had gyms within walking distance of us that had better equipment, looked better and everything. But what we did as workers, we created a community. When people came, we all knew their name. They didn't have to check in. As soon as they walked through the door, we would check them in. And they loved that. We knew how many towels they wanted, everything. We knew all their patterns and everything. And they, and that's the important thing. But they were a part of something. We all want that. We all want to feel like there's somebody we can talk to. I don't care who it is. We all want to feel like that there's somebody similar. No matter how it might seem like our idea is just going totally against the mainstream, we find that one person that we can share with, and it's not a romantic relationship either, but it's just a group of people. It could be a few people, a tiny subculture, and shoot. Indeed, that's why some people, trust me, when you look at different movements and everything, they all started because it was similar people, similar thinking and everything. We all want that. And not for like, what I would want a movement for, a global conquest. Not for that. One day people are going to they're going to be like, yeah, Ron keep talking about that. Anyway. But not for that, but just to hang out, just to do something, like in the Congo, you have those group of men who are always dressing up real well, but they are part of a community. They are part of something. You want to think that people share whatever your tastes are. It could be eating a certain type of ice cream. All of a sudden, you got a group of people. They sitting around in the ice cream joint just eating it. You do got food groups like that. They might just like a certain type of food, get together once a week to eat at different restaurants that serve that food. But it's something that you're part of. Everybody wants that. Even like I said, even if it's just a family, it could be that small. It could just be just that household. Because even like I said, I know a guy, a loner, normally a loner, but he's still a part of something. But he's also a part of where he works too. Even though he stays to himself. That's still a group. He could probably do better for a job, but he's a part of a group. Met somebody else on one of my jobs. He had another part-time job working at a bowling alley. But he was a part of that group. And we all want to be a part of something. And that's just our nature. That's just human nature. It's something within us. That's why we built up to where we at. That's why we had the nations, everything, subcultures, groups, whatever. People want to be around someone who's similar thinking, And not that everybody's going to agree with that thinking. They don't need to, really. Just as long as they find somebody of a similar thoughts. All right? So anyway, there's something to think about. As always, because you know how I do on here. Something for people to think about. I'm not promoting any particular ideology. All I want people to do is think. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and many blessings.